Hi, today I walk you through the way to build a backend system with the Logic app on the Azure Cloud. Assume you have the customer, they have the API for your system calling. So how you build up a system, call them and respond or transfer the data to the customer through the cloud. So for example right here, you see the Logic app help you to build the system, can call the API and get a response from them or transfer the data to customer. For example right here you can see we transfer the JSON data format and we build up the logic from the API we create right here with the two parameter right here, and after that we build up the logic right here, and then we call the API of the customer. We get the response customer for JSON data. After that we parse the JSON data to filter the data we want to get, and after that we can say into the database right here, for example Cosmo DB database, and after that we can call something else to send in someone, whatever. Right here I do the simulation, so I create the fake API to call and send to this API. I mean, that's the simple way when you send something and you hope you get response something after they go through your backend, you go to the customer API and they respond right here, right? So for example I build up the API management system right here. This is for simulation from front end to the back end right here. For example, from the logic I show you, I can run the test to demonstration. For example right here I have the two parameter for my API. And API management system, they help you to build up to connect with the front end and to the back end system. So right here for example right here I do the test to send this database this authorization format. And for example the ID, the name of customer, some information from customer, and what I expect is the response from the customer side, right? When I send something and I hope to get a response from the customer API. So after I fill in information, for example I do testing right here. For example I have a customer name right here. Sorry, this is for example I want to show you. The second example I show you more complex, the logic inside. So here I just only send the one by one JSON for my data. So paste right here. For this API, I put a two parameter in the API. That's, for example, utility and some event ID, something like that. That's the example. So, and the data I want to publish customer information symbol. For example, have some information customer right here. I said call one, and when I send this payloads and I hope to get the response back, the ID confirmed from the customer ABI customer. Okay, all right. And after second several sec, and I got the response back from the customer's API, and you see I got the ID, some information customer, and the more important thing I got, for example, right here, the report request ID. This ID is specific ID for customer. They I mean from the customer, I mean from another server, they give us this specific ID for this customer. So different customer, I just respond back to the for this customer. So you go back to the logic right here. You can see with the logic app, I can tracking the data I just finished 1 minute ago. And you see right here, we can see the history of the data we sent. It's already a C. So with the logic app, it's very easy for tracking any item, any data you send to the API or to whatever. They can track in the data right here. Let's see history. Record last time we used the HTTP post. We post the data, right? And all the data right here. Last time is call one. All the data right here we post. And after we post, parse. You see, that's the information. Last time we send, we post to the customer last time, right? And I put some condition right here with the parameter right here. I say, okay, if equal this is utility, I continue this flow. If not that's utility, I will terminate the flow quickly. But right here, the condition is correct. I will call the right here, I will call the API of the customer side, okay? And I transfer, right? From here, I parse information from the JSON to the XML because the customer side, they require the XML format. So I had to change from JSON from API into the XML right here. And after that, I will get a response back from the customer API. Okay, they give me specific ID, and then I want to save that information, and okay, and this and respond. The response is the XML, but I change convert from XML to JSON, and after that I create the information I want to grab from the response right here and to save into the database, the CosmoDB, right? And all the information and the response from customer right here. Okay, right now I collect all of them and save into the database for record anything. And right here I does create a fake ID to send that database to another customer right here. So, and the response, you see, I got the everything, and I got the report ID right here, and I got the response, right? So that's the result you see on the API's IBM. They show right here. They show you from you sending this payload, and you got the 200 okay, and then you got the information response from the another API. That's the first example, one by one. It means you send anything, you get something else. Okay. For example, I send card 2. Okay, I will send it. The second customer, second database lost. Okay, I got the 200 okay, and with this customer I got another request ID from logic from the API customer. It means really easy to send and get response back with the logic app, and you can track in the data quickly. And right here, you go to the history of the logic app and checking. No, sorry. Right here. See, the second one I said call to do the same thing, okay, and you follow the logic and everything. Check green check mark right here is mean it's okay, nothing wrong happen this logic. And the database, you can see right here it show or record right here, right? I can show you call 1, call 2, right? And some request ID we got from the another side APIs of customer. Let's see one example of the logic now. The second example I want to show you right here is more complicated. I mean, for example, you are on cloud and you have the one API from the customer side, okay? And when you post something else, okay, right here, right now we post the data, and you have to collect all the data in a day. After that, you post all this data into the customer API. It's different. Last example, it means you send one by one. It means you send one customer and you get response back quickly. But right here, some customer want to require send all the enrollment of the customer at the end of the day. So right here I build up the schedule for scheduler. I mean, I collect all the data during the day at specific time. For example, I got all the data a day, and right here I mean, after I collect all the information, I mean all the customer sent to the cloud and at the end of the day, and I use the query right here. I query all the customer enrolls in that day, and after that right here I use some logic to count. I mean how many customer send the information to the database, and after that, if it's more than zero, okay, I will query all the customer right here. But if less it's not equal, if equals 0, I can say no file item, and they terminate the flow right here quickly. And if we have 3 customer, 5 customer, okay, it's fine. You query all that customer in the database, and we look all that customer one by one. For here, for example, I query 3 customer made enrollment in a day, and for each enrollment I call the from the API of the customer side, and I got the response back from the customer side for each customer, okay. And after that, I create the fake API right here to send another API, okay, and I say they into the database quickly. You see the first one, you can check on the second one, the data right here, and the third one, the query from database. All right. Okay, I give you demo. This is the how the data flow work. So, but okay, I run the demo, for example. Right here, for example, during the day, for example, this API, I will send 3 customer, and it's about only 3 customers register today, and no, really easy right here. For example, and for example, we have this API. I say the car one, right? For example, customer one, I say car one. And I say Tom one. This customer, okay, they send these payloads to our cloud, right? And this, okay, they say this API will say the response to this API say, okay, this payload already set into the database, and you check on the database and you see they save in the database right here, right? Okay, call one, for example, and I continue in another time in the day. I had a card 2. Okay, with Tom, with customer name Tom 2, and I send to the cloud, and they say to the database, and it's successfully sent to the database. And we refresh the database, and you see the second item add into the database, card 2. And in another time, we have the customer 3, card 3, and with the name 3, register, okay, and they send this payload into the data. And they say that they say successfully send this payload into the database. And you can see right here they say all the data into the database right here, CosmoDB. So we have the card 1, card 2, card 3 into the database. And right here I build up the logic to loading all that database. Okay, I check, for example, at the end of the day, I want to run this flow, loading all the customer register today, and post to and send this one to the customer API. Okay, and we get response back from the customer API for each customer register, right? So let's go to trigger the logic. Right here, there's a logic. I say, okay, trigger one a day. That's only once a day, and checking all go to the database to see how many customer register, query all the customer, and send all that customer to another API fisherman, and to get response, the ID response back for each customer. Okay, so and say into the database. This logic is quite different. The first example, we send one by one, but right here we collect all of them and send at the same time, right? So let's trigger the system to see how they load tree. Okay, we trigger, and let's see how the logic. Okay, they run right now. They should query all the 3 customer. Okay, this is a successful, and we let go to the logic to see. Okay, they trigger this one, and they check on the database. Okay, and they see total they have 3 customer registered today, and then they check the condition right here. Okay, that is not 0, so they continue the flow. They query all the customer right here, and we look all for each customer right here. You see they look 1 2 3. You can see 1 right here, you can see. Okay, call 1. Okay, continue. You see I click right here, you can see call 2 and click next right here. Let's see and okay, call 3. And call 3. So they look all what for each one. You can see that they do 1 for each one. Okay, right here they call the customer API, and they get response something from the customer right here. But because right here the customer requires XML, so they respond back to XML data. So I use some technique to transfer right here. Very easy. You have to filter the JSON, the property of the JSON, the next JSON. So it takes okay inside, because right here there's the next JSON. So it's really 2-3 level. So you have to use the expression to know how to get that filter that data and guess what you want. Right here, after I filter the data, I get the information I needed. I put into the destination data, and after that I create all the information I want. This is the final information, and I want to save into the data. I go to say this one into, for each customer I got the specific ID from API customer. So, and I collect all important information and put into the database, customer DB database. And after that I create the fake API to call another one to get this information right here, and they also save into another database. And that's the whole process. With the logic app you can build whatever you want. It's very easy, and very easy for checking the data, very stable, very fast, stable. The whole thing, right, the whole logic like here you can build up with the Azure function is work too. But with the Azure function you use the log to check the error. Sometimes it's very tired to look at the log and to see what error happened. But for logic app, you see, very easy to check which step is fair, which step is successful, and why, and really easy to see that, right? Quickly to figure out the problem and fix that. And right now with that 3 data, you can see into the database I build up right here. Right here we have 3 customer register, but right here, and so see you get right here, refresh right here. I had 3 customer update with the whole, for each customer I collect all information, important information, and put into the database for each customer. For the report, for record, whatever we do, analyze this, whatever. Okay, that's really nice. So many people say you were they don't like this way. They want to use the Azure function to write the code, Python code or something. They use the Cosmo trigger or whatever. It works, but With the logic app, I feel very easy to build up the backend system and tracking the error or something else. We can check whatever happen. Okay, for each data, they give us the information, the status, the time to do that process. Okay, for example, last time it mean they they process three customer. It take about 8 seconds, about 8.5 seconds to finish. Or okay, three customer data, send the three customer to the API customer. So it's very easy, okay, and very nice and neat. So that's it. I just walk you through the how you build up backend with the logic app.